video will show my evaluation of a science lesson for 5th graders aimed to teach the concepts of how energy affects mediums. In the context of this lesson, it will teach that air particles expand when heated and contract when cooled. The lesson begins with the teacher having students write what they know about gas and share their ideas with their table mates. This enacts stage 1 of the 5E model, engage, because it gets their brains remembering any previous knowledge they may have. Next, each group will take a bottle and they will capture air by closing the lid. There will be guided questions to reinforce the idea that air is trapped inside and that it is an invisible gas that takes the shape of its container. The teacher will also ask what they think would happen should the air get hot or colder. This continues the first phase of the 5E model, as it suggests more questions and begins instigating curiosity pertaining to future knowledge that they will investigate. Next, they will do an experiment with the water bottle with a balloon on it, placing it into hot water and into cold water. When the water bottle is in the hot water, the balloon will expand, and when it is in the cold water, it contracts. This is the explore phase of the 5E model. Next, they will do the third stage of the 5E model, explain. They're going to write in a paragraph using claim, evidence, and reasoning to explain what happened. Finally, they will share the responses with each other. I really like how this lesson has an experiment in it, in which you can see the direct effect of the air particles expanding in the balloon and contracting when it got cold. One thing that I would like to add in teaching this is that the reason the balloon expands is because the air particles inside get energy from the heat, and that the energy makes them move around more, which causes the expansion. Because this lesson is geared towards 5th graders, I imagine they thought that deeper analysis would be too in-depth, especially if they don't have a concept for what molecules are. But I think that in having a more thorough explanation, they can understand it better. I like that they only gave 4 new vocabulary words to learn, because having too many words can make it harder to grasp a lesson if you're trying to figure out what everything means. Matter, gas, expand, and contract. The first 2 are just of the subject matter and the material of which they're using. The second 2 are used to describe what is happening. The assessment in this lesson was one of writing, the CRE, which is a good skill for kids to practice and can help them learn that writing isn't just for language arts and is used in each subject. However, I think that if I were to do the lesson, I would perhaps also add a space for the student to draw a diagram of what is happening inside the balloon in the cold and hot water, likely in addition to the paragraph, as visuals can help one sort out their thoughts. Additionally, I also liked that it asked students to incorporate the vocabulary into the writing, which helps them learn how to use vocabulary, and it also further ingrains the theory. This lesson plan incorporates differentiation by suggesting ways to support more advanced students and by giving suggestions for students who may need more support. For students who may not be able to read instructions on the board or have more difficulty processing information from computers, it suggests printing out the instructions. Or for students in which following instructions or reading is a struggle, you can personally aid them. One way I think I would further the differentiation in that scenario would be by pairing that student with a more advanced student to encourage collaboration. To aid more advanced students, it suggests to have them conduct their own research and come up with their own testable question and hypothesis when they finish their work. One thing that they didn't mention in the differentiation that I think does help those who may need support is the fact that after each writing, they share one another the ideas they had. Because even if you couldn't think of anything, sharing with each other gives ideas. Or even if you did have ideas, there may be different ones that you didn't think of. One hole that this lesson seems to have is that it doesn't ever actually explain what gas is. In the beginning, it starts by asking students to write what they know about gas, and then share it with each other. And then it also talks about how air is an invisible gas, but it never actually defines gas. I think that this would be something that could be beneficial, as it just feels like an unfinished sideline. To find more lesson plans like this, go to education.com, or if you wish to use this lesson plan, the following link is a link to the PDF.